This recording is with regards to number 5 in the Math 313 practice quiz. It says the first row of a concert hall has 36 seats, and each row after the first has 3 more seats than the row before it. There are 40 rows of seats. So it says for part A to write a rule for the number of seats in the nth row. Now, if you read again, it says the first row has 36 and each row after has 3 more seats. So that seems to be an arithmetic progression because that 3 is a common difference of seats between the rows. Before we move forward, let us go to where we can get help for a question like that. For question number 5, we can go to the electronic whiteboard on page 53. That's for question number 21. So let's go to the electronic whiteboard on page 53 and look for question number 21. Here's the electronic whiteboard. Let's go to page 53. So here's page 53. And here's a question. Similar to it, we're looking for question number 21. So here it is. So the first part says write a rule for the number of seats in the nth row. So let's see where part A was done. First, here's an example of it, of number 21. The first row has 32 seats. After the first, right, each row after the first, there are 3 more seats than the row before it, and there are 30 rows of seats. So let's write a rule of seats in the nth row. So we have to use the nth term formula. So as you can see, for an arithmetic progression, there are 2 important formulas, one for the nth term and the other for the sum. So this is the formula we've got to use because nothing was mentioned about the sum. So we have to use the nth term formula for such a question. So it says the first row is 36. So A must be 36. That's the first value, the first term. N, remember we're looking for a general formula for N, so N remains N. And 3 is the common difference. Okay, so as you can see, A plus N minus 1D, 30 plus N minus 1 times 3. Now we clear the brackets to simplify the rule. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 times N is 3N. And 36 minus 3 will give us 33. So the general rule for the nth row of such a progression is 3N plus 33. And in this example, A was 32, and D was 3. So we have just a minute, write a rule, and we have 3n plus 29. Oh, because 32 was subtracted by 3. So this is missing some working. Okay, so before we have 3n plus 29. Initially, the previous step would have been 32 plus open close bracket n subtract 1 times 3. Okay, so in the next step, clear brackets by multiplying by 3. So 3 by 1 will give us -3, and 3 times n will give us 3n. So that's where the 3n came about. And 32 subtract 3 will give us 29. So those two steps were skipped for this example. So this is the general rule right here. And for our situation, our case, it will be 3n plus 33. So this is correct.